All right, what's up, YouTube? So today I got a couple of tips for you guys and keeping you guys organized as far as your craft goes. So this one's going to be a pretty short video. It's not going to be too long, but just something that kind of, some tips that you guys may find useful. And again, everything that I try to give you guys is useful to no matter what you do, whether it be artistic stuff, whether you're running a business, if you're a rapper, producer, doesn't matter. These things will help you. Just kind of use them how you need them. So I got pretty much 5 organizational tips that will help out producers, right? So the first one that I got is the thing that killed me the most when I first started out, and that is periodically saving. So I had gotten in the habit of making beats and getting so zoned in and focused on making the beat that I realized I've made a beat from start to finish and did not save it, right? And so these were in the beginning stages when I would have a computer that wasn't always up to par. So maybe my computer might crash and die on me, or I use one too many VSTs and it lags, and then all of a sudden I've lost my whole entire project. So it's good to immediately open up the beat or open up your program or whatever you're doing, open it up and go ahead, naming it and file save. And then another good tip or another good habit is to use the auto save feature. So if you have the ability to turn on auto save where it saves every 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever the case may be, or after every change, you want to turn that feature on. That'll definitely help you out. That's available on FL Studio. You can have it where it auto saves every 5 minutes or so, or however frequently you need it to. So that's something really good. I've lost numerous beats just from playing, playing around, doing my thing, and all of a sudden I add one more VST, and then that was just the one VST that was just too much for my PC. It crashed, and I lost the entire beat. So that's happened before. Even with my graphic design stuff, I've designed stuff, forgot to hit save, computer died, lost the parts of my project, and then had to start over. I start from that point. This happened quite a few times in school. My laptop would die in my book bag or something like that. Didn't realize I didn't plug it up, and just closed the laptop and never hit save. So just make sure you're saving as you go, and you're kind of periodically thinking about, let me actively save this so that I can make sure. So even if you have the 5 minute thing on that allows you to do the auto save, still just do a save for yourself just to be safe, right? And go ahead and start off the project by saving it by naming the project in the beginning. So periodically save is number one. And these are not in any particular order, but that's just the first one I started with. So the next one kind of piggybacks off of the first one. So the second one is to duplicate files and back them up. So, but what I mean by that is if you have everything on this computer, so the computer that I'm recording on currently, I want to have everything that's on this computer onto another place, whether it be something like a cloud service or like a hard drive, flash drive, or even a second computer, whatever the case is, or however you do it, just have some type of backup. You definitely want to periodically save. You want to duplicate your files and back them up. So say you've got 100, FL projects on your computer. Computer gets rained on. You left it in your book bag or something like that. It rained. Computer's ruined. Computer gets dropped. Anything. You spill something on it. Anything could happen. You want to have a backup so that way, as soon as you get another computer with all your programs on it, you're back in action. So the thing that I suggest is this right here. Hopefully, I can stretch it to see so you guys can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, you guys can see it. Is this right here? This is a portable hard drive. So what this is, I lost the cord. So that's a portable hard drive. So what that is it plugs into the backup. It plugs into my computer like it would like a USB, but it's a big block thing, and you sit it on top of your computer, and then it plugs into the wall for power. That thing has about I think that's a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte hard drive. So basically, it has 1,000 gigabytes or either 2,000 gigabytes. And literally, I have that one connected to my other Mac tower that I have in here. And anything that's on my Mac tower on that computer is also onto that hard drive. So if anything happens to the computer, I have the hard drive. Anything happens to the hard drive, I have the computer. So you definitely want to get into that. I highly suggest that whether you use a desktop or a laptop, highly suggest that you go ahead and get you something that you can back your stuff up on. This is another good option right here. Well, you won't be able to see it, and if I unplug it, I may actually lose this video. So this hard drive thing is called a SanDisk portable hard drive. It's a 1 terabyte hard drive, right? And it's probably about the size of a credit card, and it has a solid state disk on the inside, meaning that there's no disk that you can feel spinning in there. It's literally like the size of a credit card. If I could show you it without, let's see if I can angle my camera the right way. Can you guys see it? No, not really. It's this little SanDisk portable hard drive. It's really small. You can tell in my fingers it's small, but it holds the same amount of memory as the hard drive over there. That hard drive is a little bit more reliable, just simply because you move it a lot less. It's plugged into power all the time, and it directly connects into your computer. And you can format it to work for Windows and PC. Same thing with this. This one is just you're more likely to lose it, toss it somewhere, and forget where you put it, and can't find it or whatever the case may be. But the portability aspect of it is amazing. So it's literally about that big, about that wide. It can fit in your front pocket right here. It's been the best $90 that I spent. I think I got it on sale on Amazon. It's like $90 for 1 terabyte. It usually was like 120, something like that. So I highly suggest that. It's a SanDisk. Yeah, SanDisk 1 terabyte portable hard drive. Love it. It's probably one of the best things that I bought. So generally, when I have anything like that, like a portable hard drive, what you want to do is basically run all your programs from that hard drive, or from the computer. So basically, you can have FL Studio and all your VSTs running off of the computer, but you have your computer set up to where everything that you save gets saved onto the hard drive, so that you're not using up your memory. So that's one thing that I'm in the process of having to fix that now, which is why I brought up this topic. So I have 500 gigabytes of hard drive space on the laptop, right? But I only have 5 gigabytes left due to the fact of me adding a bunch of VSTs, different projects, and it duplicating it. So it's putting all my information on the computer plus the hard drive, but I need to free up space on the computer so that I can continue to do things. So I'll be figuring that out. So that's one thing that you definitely want to keep in mind: your hard drive space on the computer and the hard drive space that you're going to have and how you're going to use it and partition it, right? So that moves on to the next one. So the next thing is get a hard drive. So any hard drive is going to work. Just get you something that's a quality one, something that is a solid state drive, meaning that there's no spinning disk on the inside. The more moving parts that you have in something that's like a hard drive or a computer or something like that, which is why you want a computer with a solid state hard drive as well. Anything with a bunch of moving parts, you're more likely to break something or have something malfunction. So with this being a solid state hard drive, I can sit here, literally shake it. I could toss it on the couch real quick. I can throw it in a bag and not, too much worry about it. Whereas you had those thicker hard drives where it felt like something was moving on the inside. If you that little disc that moves, if you jostle it the wrong way, you can actually ruin it and lose everything on there. So with another caveat to the hard drive thing is, if you have one hard drive, it's probably not a bad idea to get a second one. And so you have one that backs up on your computer and it's always backed up. And then just maybe every now and then, maybe once a month, once every other month, you take that hard drive, connect it to the other one, and you transfer the information to that one. So that way you have duplicate copies. It's always good. It's better to have more copies than you need than to not have your copies at all. So once you lose something, you can't get it back. So have a hard drive, back your stuff up, and periodically save. Those are the first three tips. The next one is kind of what I need to work on myself. So that's why this is a good video topic, is keeping your computer clean and up to date. So you want to keep your computer clean, meaning like you don't want to have anything unnecessary on it. So like when I was in college, I had two computers. I had my MacBook and I had my producing computer. My MacBook I primarily used for schoolwork and graphic design stuff. My other computer was strictly for music. So I would keep the two separately. So it would be like, if I was doing anything that was art related for school, it's on my MacBook. If I'm doing anything music related, it's on my PC. So like you want to keep things organized. So that means setting up files, setting up different folders. So you may have a file that says FL Studio stuff, and everything involving FL Studio is in that one folder, and then everything else is on your desktop or whatever the case may be, however you have it set up. But keep your computer cleaned up and updated and organized. So keep your computer organized. You want to have your beats in one folder, your art stuff in another folder. I don't know, maybe your different fonts and things that you use for InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, that type of stuff. Anything that you use, keep your stuff organized as possible. Keeping your computer up to date is good. That's why I've mentioned in previous videos of buying the VSTs and buying the programs that you're going to use, like FL Studio, Ableton, Logic, whatever you're using. It's good to buy those things, because then it will allow you to be able to upgrade the software on the computer and keep those programs up to date while keeping your computer up to date. because the problem that a lot of producers run into is they buy the cracked programs, they can't update their computer, and they can't update the programs. So after a while, your computer just starts to move slow and doesn't operate properly because it's not working at its optimal potential because it's not updated. So it's good to keep your computer cleaned up and updated, right? Um, then the next one, I've kind of already touched on it, uh, but I'll jump back to it. That is keeping all your files in FLP. So I would have a bad habit if I'd start a beat and be like, I didn't really like this one, and then just delete it. That's not really a good idea to do because you may not like it right there, right then and there in that moment. You may not like it that day, that week, that month. Hell, maybe even not that year. There's been times like when I start doing this a little bit more, I'm going to go through my old FLPs on my other computer and kind of see the more of the style that I was making several years ago, and just hop back on them and see if I like that style or that sound and see what I can do from there. It's like collabing with the past me. So that's why it's always good to keep your FLP. So you may have a style or a cadence or a sound that you had on your old computer, and then you open it up and like, man, I don't know how to make that anymore. Like that's a really hard beat. Let me finish it. And now you want to finish it. So it's always good to keep those files and those FLPs. And it could just be useful for something else. It may be an FLP that you're not feeling and you don't want to finish, but you know it's a good song or a good platform or a good beat, and it's a good platform to use. You may end up using that FLP that you started, however long ago you started or when you started it, and use it as a collab by sending it to somebody else. So it's always good to keep all your stuff, and anything that you start, anything that has your name to it or is attached to you or is a part of you. Always hang on to it because you just never know. It could be that you having that FLP or having those files could be the difference of you getting your credit or not. Because it could be something as simple as somebody steals your ideas, steals your beats, steals your FLP, uses it, and now you have to find some type of way to prove it. So it's happened before where artists have said that they wanted to collab with people, got the collab, and then sat there and took the collab for their own. I know this for a fact that this has happened, and know of people doing it. Take the collab of their own, switch and change up some sounds and things of that nature, call it their own, and then put it out there in the world like it's theirs. Now, if you have the original file and you can prove like, hey, this is my melody, this is my sound, this is me making it. Like, here's the original FLP, and your date predates when the song existed or the beat existed, and it does sound similar, and you can tell that this is the original and this is the copy or the knockoff. Then you'll win that case if there's ever a time that you need to go to court or you have to prove anything that you being the owner of it. It's called intellectual property. So intellectual property is anything that comes out of your mind that's yours, that you've either put on paper, put on film, or anything. It's anything that's creative that's yours that isn't necessarily tangible, right? So like if I filmed a movie, you can't necessarily touch the movie, but the movie and the idea is my intellectual property because I thought about it in my mind and it's my property because it's mine. You see what I'm saying? So those are all, good 5 tips that I think producers or any creatives in general could learn from. So again, that's periodically save your content, um, duplicate files and back stuff up, have a good hard drive or a good backup system, however you plan to do that. Keep your computer cleaned up and updated. That's very important. And keep all your files in FLP. So that includes your Illustrator, Photoshop, any Adobe Creative Cloud, even things down to if you're clothing designer and you have prototypes of clothing and stuff like that. Keep that because you just never know. Somebody might have seen your prototype of your clothing, stole it, ran off with it, and you have this prototype with a date and a time when you took a picture or a video or whatever the case is, and you'll be able to prove like, hey, this person stole my idea or stole my intellectual property. So it's always good to keep up with things because you just never know when you'll need it, especially in these days and times of being producers on the internet. It's literally like our computer could crash and our whole career is almost done for. You know what I mean? So it's good to always have backup so that you can just pick back up and start back from where you left off in the event that something happens. So that's all I got for you guys, man. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I try to make it quick. I didn't want to keep you guys too long. It's going to be about 15 minutes. So yeah, drop in the comment section some more stuff that you guys like to see. I have some more ideas backed up of what I plan to do and what I plan to show you guys. So I hope you guys appreciate it and continue to support me. I definitely appreciate all the love and support. But yeah, so just follow me on all my social medias. Milan Makes Beats. If I got it, you'll find me. If I don't, you won't. and just keep supporting, like all my videos, dislike them if you dislike them, but either which way, just interact with the algorithm that or with the video so that the algorithm works in my favor. So I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you continue to watch. And that's all I got for you, man. Peace.